everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Especially warm welcome. If you follow Shield Media's digital marketing content, you're definitely in the right place today. I'm Lex.
And I'm Vera. We're both from the Shield Media podcast show.
And today we are taking a really deep dive into something, well, pretty crucial for any business owner, any C-level exec trying to make sense of the digital space.
That's right. We're talking social media trends and marketing specifically for 2025. It's moving fast.
It really is. We've basically spent time digging through a whole bunch of recent industry reports, articles. Think experts from Sprout Social, Buffer, Sprinkler, Hootsuite, Forbes, Smart Insights, the big names. And our mission really is to cut through all that noise, pull out the most important bits, the insights that you can actually use for your strategic decisions.
Exactly. Because social media, it's not static. These sources make it super clear it's undergoing this huge transformation. It's less about just social connection sometimes and more, well, just media.
Like a primary channel.
Yeah, for consuming stuff, finding things out. So staying on top of it. It's not just nice to have anymore. It's pretty critical for business success.
Okay, so let's jump right in then. Let's unpack this landscape. The scale, first off. I mean, the numbers for 2025 are still just mind-boggling.
They really are.
Facebook, still number one, over 3 billion monthly active users, MAU, we'll call it.
Right.
YouTube, close behind, 2.5 billion MAU. Then you've got Instagram and WhatsApp, both around 2 billion.
And TikTok, can't forget TikTok, 1.59 billion MAU.
Huge.
It's huge reach, definitely. But a point that came up again and again in the sources, it's not about trying to be on every single platform, is it?
No, absolutely not. Buffer and others really stress this. For businesses, it's about being smart, being strategic, being where your audience actually hangs out.
Makes sense. I saw a stat, something like 200 million businesses use Facebook's tools.
Yeah, and 7 million are actively advertising there. So the potential is there, but it needs focus. Which kind of brings us to their fundamental question, why bother? Why is social media marketing still so essential for brands in 2025? Sprinkler had some thoughts on this.
Yeah, beyond just the massive reach, billions of people globally, it's deeper. It's about that direct line.
To customers?
To customers, yeah. But not just to blast messages at them, to actually engage with them, build a community, build trust. That's something traditional channels, well, they struggle with that today, don't they?
Yeah, definitely feels more one way sometimes. And the cost aspect, still relevant.
Hugely relevant. It's still incredibly cost effective compared to a lot of traditional marketing. I mean, a profile's free.
Right.
And paid ads. You can get really specific with targeting, relatively affordable, it kind of levels the playing field.
And driving traffic, that's another big one. Good CTAs, calls to action in posts, stories, they actually work to get people to your website.
But maybe the most strategic piece from the sources is the data, the insights you get.
The analytics.
Exactly. These tools give you this amazing window into what your audience is doing, what they like, what they don't. You can tweak your strategy almost in real time. That powerful.
Okay, so that's the why. Let's dig into the what. What are the key trends shaping 2025 according to these reports?
Yeah, trend number one. Probably not a huge shocker, but the way it's evolving is interesting.
Let me guess. Video.
You got it. Video is still absolutely king, dominating everywhere. TikTok, Reels, Shorts. But also, increasingly, you're seeing important video formats on LinkedIn. Even Threads.
So it's not just make video, it's how you make it, the investment.
Precisely. The smart play, highlighted by Sprout Social, is about efficiency,
right.
repurposing, adapting.
Like one piece of content used multiple ways.
Exactly. They gave the example of cheekbone beauty. They might create a specific video for LinkedIn, maybe more brand story focused, which is totally different from the quick punchy stuff for TikTok or Reels. But then maybe they take a longer YouTube video, like a podcast clip.
Like this one.
Huh? Maybe. And chop it into little bite-sized bits for those short-form platforms. The key is catering to the platform's culture, its audience, what they expect from video there.
That actually leads really nicely into the next big trend they talked about, cultural fluency. That sounds important.
It is. Social media is the epicenter of culture now. That's what the reports are saying. Right. It's overtaken traditional media for how people, 90% of consumers keep up with what's current.
Wow, 90%. So brands need to understand internet culture.
Fundamentally, yes.
Yeah.
93% of consumers think it's important for brands to get it. It's not just about spotting a viral dance, though.
Right.
It's deeper. Like the example of Mark Jacobs on TikTok referencing niche internet stuff, featuring creators like Kadi Rod who are genuinely part of that scene, it works because it feels authentic, not forced.
Okay. But there's a risk there too, right? Jumping on every single trend.
Definitely. And the sources warn about that. There's a fine line. You need to be intentional, selective, put your own spin on it, make sure it fits your brand story, your voice. Don't just chase likes.
So authenticity beats polish.
Overwhelmingly, yes. People value relatable, authentic, entertaining content. That overly polished corporate speak stuff gets scrolled right past.
Got it. So stand out with good stories, real engagement.
Exactly. Which ties into the creator economy piece. It's bigger than ever.
Not just the huge influencers.
No, there's massive value in smaller creators, user-generated content. It feels more organic. And we're also seeing this big rise in B2B creators, especially on LinkedIn.
Sharing expertise, thought leadership.
Yep, building their own audiences right there. Powerful stuff for B2B brands.
Okay, next trend. This one feels like it touches everything. AI and automation.
Oh yeah. This isn't sci-fi anymore. It's here. Social media pros are using AI widely for brainstorming content, running reports, managing workflows.
Does it help with, like, burnout, creative fatigue?
Apparently so. 93% believe AI helps reduce creative fatigue. Think of it like a sparring partner.
Not a replace.
Not a replacement. It makes things more efficient, helps get past writer's block. Interestingly, Hootsuite found that companies in regulated industries are actually using AI more sometimes.
Really? Why is that?
Maybe for compliance checks, consistency, managing risk. But the point is, just using AI for basic content creation, that's becoming table stakes.
The baseline.
Right. The real edge in 2025 comes from weaving AI into your whole strategy, your workflows, finding efficiencies, getting deeper insights. Over 3/4 of social strategists are already using it.
Okay, wow. So tons of content being made, partly thanks to AI. How are people finding stuff?
Great question. Social search. It's a top priority now.
So people searching within Instagram or TikTok.
Exactly. YouTube and TikTok are basically major search engines in their own right.
Yeah.
People are hitting those search bars using map features. It's even leading to this new idea, AIO.
Yeah, like SEO.
Sort of. Artificial intelligence optimization.
Yeah.
Alongside SEO,
Yeah.
but specifically for optimizing content for these social algorithms and how people search within the apps.
That's a big shift. So businesses need to think about optimizing content for, like, TikTok search.
Absolutely. And start paying attention to these AIO tactics as they emerge. Crucial nugget there.
Okay, another trend that sounded interesting. Niche communities going IRL in real life.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Social platforms are the breeding ground for subcultures, right? And now brands and creators are leaning into that, building deeper connections through private communities, Instagram subscriptions, LinkedIn groups, offering exclusive stuff.
So smaller, more dedicated groups.
Kind of. It also gives newer platforms, maybe smaller ones, time to find their footing, like those decentralized ones, Bluesky or Mastodon.
Right. They're more about privacy-specific niches.
Yeah, not necessarily aiming for billions of users like the giants. Bluesky hit maybe 30 million users end of 2024, but active users are likely way less than, say, Threads, which shot up to 350 million MAU pretty fast.
So focus on the big ones, but keep an eye on the niche communities too.
Exactly. And finally, the evergreen trend, social data. Still absolutely key.
Especially for proving value, right? To the bosses.
You got it. Marketers are under more pressure than ever to show ROI. Sprout Social found 65% of marketing leaders are tying social campaigns directly to business goals just to get investment.
And quantifying cost savings is a big deal too, 52%.
Yep. And sharing that data, effectively dashboards, visuals, is crucial. But it's not just about likes anymore.
What else, then?
Think about production efficiency gains from using AI, or tracking positive customer feedback you get through social, or how different teams like sales or product dev are using social insights. It's about data storytelling.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's the landscape, the trends. What about the specific platforms for business leaders trying to make choices in 2025?
Right. The sources give a pretty clear picture here. While there are tons of platforms, a few really stand out for business strategy.
Facebook's still core, I assume.
Definitely. Broad reach, great for community building with groups, and that ads manager is still super powerful for targeting. Most strategies still need Facebook.
And YouTube.
Second biggest search engine, remember. Crucial for video, both long and short form. Big SEO impact there.
Instagram, still visual, younger demos.
Yep, millennials, Gen Z, love it. Reels, stories for discovery, and increasingly important for customer care, too.
TikTok, short video powerhouse.
Totally. Super trend-driven, massive viral potential. And watch the social commerce stuff like in-video buying on Douyin in China. It's coming.
And it's not just for kids anymore.
No, the 25-34 group is the largest segment now, globally. So keep an eye on it.
LinkedIn, essential for B2B.
And absolutely essential. Thought leadership, professional networking. The algorithm likes consistency and engagement. High ROI potential if your audience is professionals, decision makers.
What about Threads? Did that stick?
Seems like it. Tightly linked to Instagram, text first, conversational. Grab a lot of users fast, 350 million MAU early on. Good space for less polished, more real-time stuff. An alternative to X.
And X itself, still relevant.
Yeah. Still critical for real-time news, trends. Powerful for customer service, too. Good for fast-moving strategies, connecting with niche groups.
And if you're targeting China, whole different ballgame.
Completely. You have to be on WeChat, Douyin, Kuaishou, Rednote, Xiaohongshu. Western platforms are blocked or limited. Each has its role. WeChat, the super app, Douyin, Kuaishou for video commerce, Rednote for lifestyle, reviews.
Okay. What about Reddit? Came up in the sources, too.
Yeah, Reddit's unique. All about those community forums, the subreddits, super niche topics, deep discussions.
Tricky for brands, though.
Very. You got to listen first, understand the culture. No blatant selling. But amazing for insights, seeing what people really think.
So the big takeaway across all platforms seems to be focus.
Absolutely. Be selective. You don't need to be everywhere. Pick 2 or 3 platforms where your audience is, where your strengths lie, what matches your goals.
And tailor the content for each one.
Always. A focused strategy beats being spread thin every single time.
Okay, makes sense. So pulling it all together, what are the best practices, the strategic takeaways for business leaders listening to this?
All right, let's synthesize. First off, clear goals. Be specific. Like increase website traffic 20% in 3 months via social. Quantifiable stuff.
Know your audience. Really know them.
Deeply. Demographics, interests, pain points, where they hang out online, what makes them tick.
Keep branding consistent across platforms.
Crucial for recognition.
Yeah.
And share quality content. Stuff that actually provides value, entertains, educates, inspires. Think 80-20 rule.
80% value, 20% promotion.
Something like that. And post regularly, consistently. Use a calendar, scheduling tools. It's non-negotiable.
And engage. Don't just post and run.
Please don't. Respond to comments, like user stuff. Start conversations. Be human.
Paid ads. Use them strategically.
Yep. Great for awareness, especially with younger users. Spending still growing there.
Yeah.
Start small, test, see what works for your goals, then scale.
And track everything. Use the data.
Relentlessly. Analytics are your friend. Reach, engagement, conversions. Use those insights to refine constantly. And social listening, understand the buzz, the sentiment.
Aim for niche virality, not just chasing big trends.
Yeah, Hootsuite suggested that. Track trends for insights relevant to your audience rather than just jumping on the latest global meme if it doesn't fit.
And be ready to adapt, right? Things change fast.
Constantly. Stay updated, be flexible, monitor mentions. It's ongoing.
What about influencers? Still a thing.
Big time. Choose ones aligned with your values. Give them creative freedom. People trust them. Look at Boohoo's success. Influencer marketing was a big part of that.
Learn from the best, like Nike's storytelling.
Definitely. And consider using those management tools, Sprinkler, Hootsuite, Buffer, etc. They really help streamline things as you scale up. Manage accounts, schedule, analyze, becomes essential.
Okay, but it's not all easy, right? There are limitations.
For sure. The big one is time. Doing social media well is time-consuming. No way around it.
And the constant changes. Algorithms, platform features.
Exactly. You have to keep learning, keep adapting. What worked last month might need tweaking this month.
Right. So wrapping this deep dive up, the 2025 social media world is complex, dynamic.
Absolutely. Success needs that strategic, data-driven, but also authentic approach. It's about real connections where your audience actually is.
So for you, the business owners, the C-levels listening, it boils down to knowing your audience's platforms, tailoring your approach, using data smartly, and embracing these key trends. We talked about video, AI, cultural fluency, community.
And given that shift we mentioned, away from just pure connection on some big platforms towards more passive media consumption.
Right.
While at the same time, you've got the rise of these deeper niche communities.
Okay, so here's the final thought, something for you to really chew on. How can your business navigate that? How can you build truly deep, lasting, authentic relationships with your audience in 2025? Bridge that gap between reaching the masses and really connecting meaningfully.
That's the big question, isn't it? Something to really consider as you map out your strategy. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, we really hope this gave you some valuable insights and practical takeaways for your business. If you found this helpful, please do us a favor, click that follow button wherever you're listening.
And maybe share it with colleagues or friends who could also benefit from this knowledge.
This has been Lex.
And Vera from the Shield Media Podcast Show.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Until next time.